Hey guys, my name's Kobe and today I'm going to be talking to you about ThinkGeek's bag of holding. Now, for those of you that are familiar with ThinkGeek, you probably know what this is. But if you're not familiar with ThinkGeek, this is probably their biggest, best-selling product. It's definitely one of their best-selling products, if not the biggest. And this is, aptly named the bag of holding because it can hold just about everything. Now, if you've seen my previous video talking about the backpack of holding, ThinkGeek's other product that was actually inspired by this, you'll know that I prefer the backpack of holding to the bag of holding. But I just want to say I do love the bag of holding. But I'm just going to talk about why there are some things about it I'm not a huge fan of, but ultimately I do love it. So let's go ahead and talk about the shape of this bag, right? First thing out of the gate, this is a tall messenger bag. You think about messenger bags, you think about how they're kind of rectangular in nature, how they kind of go from about here to here, they just stretch there. This is not like that. This is a very tall bag. I mean, let's go ahead and bring that backpack of holding back over. This is a backpack, right? This is meant to stretch the length of your back, okay? This is almost as tall as this, so it's almost already the height of a backpack. When you consider that, actually, let me just grab here. I've got my current backpack that I'm using, my Decline. It's, almost as tall as it, right? Told you I have a bag problem. It's almost as tall as it. So when you think about messenger bags, you want them to be kind of tight and low and inconspicuous, I guess. When you're carrying this bag, it's pretty big, I think that where the bottom sits right here, this would be where I would typically have it. But in order to have a messenger bag, or in order to have this bag sit where a messenger bag normally does, it's got to be almost in my armpit. So, again, it's totally up to you about what you prefer. That was one thing that was a drawback for me. This thing just felt like a mammoth to carry sometimes. If you like bigger bags, though, this is definitely going to be a bag for you. Let's move on to the material. This stuff is made out of a very sturdy canvas, just like the backpack of holding. The canvas for this material is amazing. I don't know if canvas is waterproof. I feel like if it gets wet enough, it won't be waterproof, but generally I never had any issues carrying this in the rain. Obviously I didn't stay in the rain, but I never had to worry about stuff getting super soaked as long as I wasn't in the rain very long. The material, though, it's great. If you're ever worried about canvas bags, I know one of the things people typically tend to worry about with canvas bags is that they'll be floppy, or that they won't have much shape, or you'll sit it down and the bag will just sink. But you can see, other than that, the bag holds its shape. It's pretty sturdy and very rigid. And that's not in a bad way either. I love the feel of it because it feels quality. Just like the backpack of holding, it feels like a bag that you've used for quite some time without looking like a ratty bag. It feels. Imagine buying a pair of jeans and instead of putting them on and having, to break them in and they're just tight and gross, imagine putting them on and they fit just like your first perfect pair of jeans. That's what this bag feels like. It feels great. Moving on to some of the clasps and handles here. The top handle we have here is a canvas handle. I will say one drawback of this is that when the bag is heavy, which is often, it will kind of sink a little bit like that. It will also not be very comfortable because it is only just a strap of canvas compared to other bags that have like padded handles that help you with that. This is just a strap of canvas, so it's not going to be very comfortable if the bag's really heavy. On top of that, we do have metal zippers here. And here, once we flip it here, flip it open, and we've got these metal zippers here as well. We're going to go into some of these pockets in a moment. But one thing I would like to note, and this is after using the bag from, I'd say, August to December, you notice there's no strap, no shoulder strap. Here's where the shoulder strap links. Unfortunately, after using it for about 6 months, my shoulder strap broke. But I'll still talk about it. So this is what the shoulder strap initially looks like here. We've got a metal clasp here. It's got a little clicker there, which is really useful for just going bam, and it's attached. Unfortunately, the metal piece here broke off of the other end here. So it was kind of a pain to have to carry it around like this for a couple days until I could get a replacement bag. You know, honestly, I just haven't ordered a replacement strap yet. I mean, you can. It doesn't destroy the bag. It's more just, I just needed a replacement strap. But, you know, that is something to consider, that if you put enough stuff in here, this may break. But, you know, that's probably just a bit of an operator error on my end. But the strap itself is made out of the same canvas as this. It's a lot thicker. Like I said, there's not much padding, but this is thick enough to distribute the weight pretty well. It never really hurt my shoulder unless I was carrying the bag for a long time. So if you have a lot of classes that you have to walk around campus like very far, or if you have a long commute from the car, or if you walk to work, you know, it's kind of going to be up to you. Out here on the outside, by the way, we do have a rubber bag of holding stamp. Maybe not a stamp, but you know, the logo here, it's rubber. It's pretty great, you know, just kind of telling people, showing off your nerddom, which be proud of that, by the way. So let's go on to the buttons and how this bag opens and closes. So on the outside, what we have here, we've got an outside zipper, right? This outside small zipper, as you see, I'm storing the strap right now until I get a replacement. It's pretty big. Like, I mean, let's open this up just a little bit. It's pretty big. You can feel how thick it is. But as we're on this topic of opening this up, this is a huge flap to open. This isn't like a quick flap that you just flip open and reach in. You gotta take this thing and open it up all the way and flip it around to actually get to your compartments. Again, if you're a person of convenience, you like to grab things real quick, putting a lot of stuff out here in the outside pocket will probably work for you. On top of that, there's a pocket out here on the back that does have a magnetic clasp. You can just put a few papers in there like that. But ultimately, you know, if you need to get to your laptop quickly, if you're reaching in and out, you are going to have to flip this flap open, which, you know, for some people might not be desirable. Now, here at the bottom, we have these loops here that do have magnetic clasps. So when we flip it back around, you just clasp it shut. Now, I will say that a lot of the time, these don't automatically clasp. It's not something that neatly works every single time. So if you want a good, secure magnetic clasp, you know, you're going to have to grab the loop and put it in there. I will say, however, that, you know, typically having stuff in here, it makes it heavy enough to where it'll just stay shut. Let's move on to the inside here. We've got this gigantic pocket here, as well as these two pockets. I'm gonna take a second in a minute and zoom in, and we'll go into the bag itself. But these are the main three compartments. You've got kind of your outside, you've got your outside smallest pocket that has dividers. You've got this medium-sized pocket, and then you've got a large pocket, which also has a media flap. Like I said, we'll take a second in a minute to go and look into that. But ultimately, all of these are secured by metal zippers, with the exception of the magnetic clasps on the big or the smallest outside pocket, as well as the quarter pockets. So yeah, like I said, let's take a look inside this thing. All right, so let's take a look at the inside of the bag of holding. As I mentioned before, we've got this outside pocket once you open up that main flap. Now, inside here, this is where the bag of holding certainly beats the backpack of holding. The organization in here is great. You've got canvas pockets here, right? You've got two small, thin pockets, and these are kind of a little bit taller but thinner. And then you've got, you know, elastic pin pockets there. So let's take a pair of scissors. I do not recommend doing this regularly. Don't carry a pair of scissors in your bag because that could be bad. You can put a pair of scissors in there. I'm just going to take this handful of pens and pencils and stuff and just drop it in there. And then got a couple. Let's just put them in here like so, right? There's that. Not exactly easy. Here we go. You can fit a few in here. Like, that's typically what I did. I used this for that. I think right here in this pocket, I may have kept a tin of mints. And then I didn't really keep much in here. These are just kind of weirdly shaped pockets, but you know, everybody's got different things. I'm sure you can find something to put in there. Like I said before, this does have a magnetic clasp, so it will just shut like that. Now, this medium pocket, I'd say this is pretty good for medium books and whatnot. You know, this is about, you know, yay big. You can put that just right in there. Here's a Kindle for a size comparison. You can put that in there, though I wouldn't put that in there, and you'll see why in a minute. Here's a larger regular textbook. That fits in there just fine. You know, that really does. I mean, that kind of speaks to the size of this bag, that this is the medium pocket, and you can put a full giant textbook in there. Some more textbooks. Let's put this in here. This is the biggest one. Now, one thing to notice, once I start putting more in here, do you hear that sound? You hear that I'm hitting this pocket underneath. I'm hitting the stuff in here inside. So this book is actually entirely on top of that. So I'm going to take this book out, okay? Let's close this pocket. Right, now, the main compartment. This is why I didn't want to put the Kindle in that pocket. We have a media pocket right here. You can just slide that Kindle in there. Works great. Fits awesome. I used to keep my iPad mini in there back when I had one. I believe an iPad would fit in here. I really think it would. Wouldn't be huge, or rather, this wouldn't be the most ideal pocket for an iPad. I mean, the iPad would come out a little bit, but I think it would definitely fit. An iPad mini definitely will. So, opening it up in here, you can see that despite all these books, they stop right here. We still have a lot of space. Let's go ahead and put in our last big textbook here. Right, we can put that in there, and then I have a couple other thin ones we can put in there. Now, the question a lot of you are probably asking, what about laptops? That's another drawback for this bag. There is no laptop sleeve. So if you do carry a laptop in this bag, you will need to get yourself a neoprene sleeve or some kind of carrying case, something that will protect the laptop. This is my work laptop. It has about, it's like 13, 14 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and just slide this in here without a neoprene sleeve. Now, with all these textbooks in here, this is a tight squeeze, but here it is in there, right? So let's go ahead, zip that shut, right? We'll close the main flap, and I will button the bottom here, button the bottom here. Now, here's the bag. Let me pick up the camera and zoom out a little bit. Here's the bag with all of this stuff in here, right? Now, it does maintain its shape, kind of. The outside starts to get a little bendy, depending on what you've got in there. And of course, I want it to look as good as it can for a video, but you know, it's not always going to do that. Let's sit it on the ground. That right there, actually, you know, I wasn't even thinking. I may have hurt my laptop just dropping it on the ground there, but you know, it kind of changes its form. Another thing I do want to point out to you is that because of how big this strap is, how much space you have here, when you pick it up, it does kind of sink in a little bit. And because of how big this strap is, it's kind of, I don't know, hangs down a little bit. It's not ideal for me, let's say that. Now, one thing I do want to point out, now that we've got the bag filled up, is the bottom, right? Now, one thing I always worry about with bags is the bottom getting scuffed up. I worry about how well the bag's going to hold up over time. When you take a look at this one, you can see that ThinkGeek knew what they were doing here. Already the bag is made with a really great canvas, and I pointed that out with the backpack of holding. This canvas is really quality. So already you don't see many scuff marks. But ThinkGeek has taken an extra step here, and they've done a little extra stitching here that add to that. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't really know anything about stitching or how it would make the bag better, but it feels more secure. You can tell that this part of the bag is thicker and a little bit better. So, you know, considering that and having used this bag for a whole semester, the only signs of wear and tear are here on the edges, right there, and over here. And that's just the most traffic that the bag gets, you know, so naturally that's going to fade a little more. But yeah, I mean, this thing is huge. Let me just do one more comparison for you. Look at how big this is on my hip, you know. Look at how huge this becomes. It's kind of, you know, you don't really, and now even holding it this way, you see the magnetic clasps, they popped. So it kind of sinks a little bit. Now that may be because of how I was holding the handle, but ultimately, you know, that is a drawback for me. So when the bag is really full, it kind of, you know, definitely changes its shape. Well guys, thanks for watching. That's all I've got for you on the bag of holding. Ultimately, I think it's up to you. I mean, I think if you like messenger bags that are smaller, then this probably won't be the bag for you, because this thing's a mammoth. I will say, it's pretty big. But if you like bags that are spacious, that have a lot of space to hold stuff, this is probably going to be awesome for you. But you know, I love ThinkGeek. I love their products. They're very quality. So you know, I think I'd recommend getting it if it suits your needs. But thanks for watching. If this was a decent video for you, if it helped you decide anything, if it was helpful for you in any way, shape, or form, just let me know. Give me a like in the on the video, or leave a comment. Let me know if I talk too fast. I know I get that southern drawl, I get to talking a whole lot real quick. You know, I do that a lot. I say a lot. If you have any recommendations or questions, comments, concerns, whatever, just like the video or leave a comment, anything like that. I don't know, I feel like I have that natural tendency to say like, comment, subscribe, and I don't have anything to subscribe to yet. But you know, if you like this video, if you like the way I review bags, you want me to review any other bags or any of my own bags, just leave a comment, let me know. I'd be happy to ask any questions. But if you made it this far in this long video, thanks for watching, and yeah, this is a bag of holding.